vomited into bed. I just laid it. I'm not even fucking with you.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
That's a huge bitch.
Now, what you're looking at right now, that's a Zot. Remember Zots? They are loaded with this fizzy lifting drink shit. And I'm very excited to have the fizzy lift. Fuck you, Spasmo, he says. Gross. It's awesome. It's awesome. Sorry for the delay, fellas. That was a YouTube issue and an OBS. They wouldn't get together. It wasn't a love connection, so I apologize. Before we get started, I want to let you know one thing real quick. Let's get a little music for that. That was alixplox, the great alixplox. I'll give you a link to his stuff in a second. Check it out. Don't forget. Also, hang on, I'm just going to bite into the Zot. Guys, you're powerful. I'm going to shave my head tonight. I'm tired of this. I don't know why men keep this. This is just lazy for me. If you're listening to the show on the podcast version of this, and you're not watching, I've just been busy, so I haven't shaved it. I usually go bald, which I love. And this is just, it looks so ratty. But we're going to go see Barbie after the show, and then I'll do it when I get home. Is this show woke? I don't know what that means, Mr. Sarcastic, you fucking idiot. Somebody was asking about the opening. Yeah, you goddamn right. This is Trey Trimble, who's in the chat right now. This motherfucker's a talented motherfucker. He's going to explode. He's going to break wide open. And we'll get to say we knew him when. He's been doing these for us since almost the beginning. Super kind, super talented fella. Give Trey Trimble a follow and give him some love. He's the knees bees, baby. Okay. Welcome to the show. We have a lot to cover in an amount of time. One moment. Okay. Will I see Oppenheimer? No. I will watch Oppenheimer when it comes to streaming. Absolutely. I'm excited to see it, but I don't want to go sit in a theater and watch a 3.5-hour movie about a nuke or an atomic bomb. Sorry. You see that thing going on in Japan? It never occurred to me, but they have a really good point. A lot of people in the chat will probably be like, that's fucking woke, man. That's fucking little Japanese motherfuckers. Look. Japanese Warner Brothers put out a statement asking their Western counterparts, could you guys please stop, advertising our Barbie and Oppenheimer together and kind of going into this fucking trend of the Barbieheimer or whatever the fuck it's called. And it's like, yeah, because, the atomic bombs dropped on us. It would literally be like Barbie. Let's go out and see Schindler Barbie. If you're of the Jewish persuasion, or The Last Temptation of Barbie, if you're of the Christian persuasion. It's actually kind of interesting when you think about it, that it is kind of offensive. So, yeah, Bunker Barbie. So anyway, they took it down. They changed it. I think it's a good point. It's good. Never occurred to me, which is sad, but it's true. Yeah, the Japanese are right, says Sad Khan. I agree. I think Warner Brothers agreed. I just don't think they thought about it. I mean, it's not something that's on our mind a lot of the time. Or like Pearl Harbor Barbie. Yeah, but let's be fair. Pearl Harbor was nothing compared to, in terms of lives lost, compared to the atomic bombs we dropped. But, you know, it is what it is. Different conversation. Okay. Okay. I'll go see Barbie. I don't have a problem with girl power, fellas. I really don't. I like women. I like strong women. I was raised by strong women. I love working with women who have a fucking, you know, engine in gas in the engine. I don't get intimidated by the lady folks like some of you guys do. Men are a bunch of fucking babies. The longer I live, the more I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, guys. They're women. You know, what's the problem? Yeah, even Cyclown says Jaffe likes dommy mommies. The point is, you can't even say you like a strong woman without it going into that S&M category. It's ridiculous. It's just like, what? Don't you like women? I mean, I don't mean that like, aren't you straight? I mean, whether you are or not, I don't give a fuck. And you shouldn't give a fuck either. Be what you are. But what the fuck is wrong with women? It just seems people are so... I don't know. I want to get into a political show. I want to do a game show, so, you know. But don't fucking test me. Don't fucking test me. I will go fucking off. Hey, Bukkake Drive-By is back. You know, there are people who come in and out of this show's life for years now. And, you know, I understand. There's a time, you know, like Kevin Bacon says in the classic Footloose, there's a time to dance, there's a time to harvest, whatever the fuck he says. The Bible says it, but I'm going to attribute to Kevin Bacon. And some people come and go out of this show, people we've missed, No Com. I remember all these names, No Com and Jimmy Gilchrist and Hogwash. And, you know, I'm okay with it. They come and they go. I'm always happy to see him again. Bukkake, though, is a very special individual. Bukkake's one of those guys who, he vanished from our radar for a while, and I'm glad he's back. Bukkake, where you been, bitch? Where you been, you stupid fuck? He's like, why do you think I vanished? 'Cause you're so goddamn mean to me. Okay. Let's get into it, my dear delightful fellas. Before we get it... Well, no. I just want to tell you something. This show would not be possible without a lot of you guys. Come on now, Jaffe. Why are you out of your goddamn mind? When I vomited in the bed, I just laid in it. I'm not even fucking with you. That's true. That's an absolutely true story. Thank you for that, Spasbo. What I was going to say, though, is the God of War members who really are generous all the goddamn time. Twisted Metal Clips, Lee Perez, CaptGeech, Rotten Tanuki, Zack Procrastinates, alixplox, and Eddie Torres. Alixplox, of course, is the man who brought you that opening song, which I will show you right here. This is Quake Zone Rumble from Los Angeles, from Twisted Metal 2, by the way. I hope they do some of these, like, you know, music cues for the Season 2 if they get to make Season 2. But I'm going to put the link in the chat. He wants to build up his Spotify on this particular tune. So if you like the music that opens the show and sometimes closes the show, go on over to the Spotify and give him a follow. I would, and he would appreciate it. And he's got all of his music over there, and it's just really top of the mark. It's good people. I saw, who was it in the chat before the show started? It was Alex saying, oh, did you see Angry Joe gave the Twisted Metal TV series a really bad review? And what do you think about that? And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't really follow Angry Joe. Who was the one who died? Angry Joe didn't die. Was it Marcus B? Somebody died who was kind of like a curmudgeon YouTuber back in the day of cancer, and it was really sad and shit. But I don't remember. But that obviously wasn't Angry Joe because he's given the show a rating. Yeah, I don't really follow Angry Joe. So he seems like a decent guy. I just don't really spend any time with him. Oh, it's Total Biscuit, says Fuzznuts. Good to see you, buddy. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay. The Gaming Nating says, does alixplox do any other remixed tracks? He does a lot of synthy cool shit. I don't know if he's got any other Twisted Metal stuff, but he's got some really good stuff over there. His new album is called Cosmic Cruise. It's excellent. Yeah, Bill Bones says Angry Joe gave it a 2 out of 10. And someone's like, is Jaffe pissed? Why do I care? I loved it. I thought it was so great. Yeah, Fanto says Angry Joe hated it so much that he came back from death to rate it. Hey, Ambient Jules. Thank you, buddy. Ambient Jules steps up to be the very first member today of the Diet Soda Soldiers. I appreciate that. If I'm holding my ear here, it's not that I'm a secret agent, Ambient Jules. It's that it's my ear is still hurting a little bit. I can't get an ENT to call me back. I swear to God, when I was a kid, all the kids wanted to be doctors and lawyers, and now you can't fucking find one. It's not like I don't have insurance. I'm like, could you please fucking... It doesn't matter. Why am I here? I'm here for games, Jaffe. Ambient Jules, I love you with all my heart and soul. Thank you for your support. Don't you hate it when you join somebody's channel like Ambient Jules just did? And it's so rote. I don't mean to shit all over other YouTubers. I don't. I'm a nice fella. I'm a nice guy. I can't help but be racist. It's true. This is true. That is accurate. But I don't like it when you join someone or you give them money and they're just like, oh, this is how most YouTubers will do it for you. I just want to let you know, I'm not trying to say I'm better, but I'm better. Listen, this is what they do. They go, so Ambient Jules would subscribe. Hey, Ambient Jules, thanks, man. Thanks for the sub, buddy. Great to have you here. Now, listen, let's move. No! You got to fucking wine them and dine them. They need a little foreplay, people. That's what they spend their money on. The motherfucker just dropped $4.99 a month to say, I want to be part of your little stupid fucking club, Jaffe. Can I get a little love? You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Okay. Yeah, Spazbo says he gives the show Twisted Metal an 8 out of 10. Only taking off 2 points because my favorite character didn't show up except for 2 seconds. Well, that's why we need a new season. And we'll talk about that in just a couple of seconds. Hey, glad to have you, Ambient. Ricardo, look, let's talk about Ricardo real quick. Ricardo's probably watching. I get it, man. Ricardo's in a bit of a pickle because he says to me, look, man, I've got this other job I'm doing, and I've got the family, and it's really exhausting me doing, unless I can go full time on the show. I don't know how we're going to be able to continue at the moment. And he's not wrong. Like what I told him was, I said, look, I'm always just up and honest. I'm not going to tell you how much money he was making on the show, not much. But I said, he's like, look, here's how much I need to do the job full time. And I said, okay, I can do that, but I want to make sure that we're on the up and up we're seeing the numbers go up before I invest, because it's a lot of money. And, I'm not ready yet to pull that trigger. So we may actually lose Ricardo for a little bit, but he's phenomenal, and I think we'll be picking him up once the show gets off the launching pad. But I am probably, I don't know if Ricardo's watching. If you're watching, Ricardo, I did think about it, and I think I just don't think I'm ready to make that commitment until the end of August. So like we discussed. So in that, I may be looking for a new fucking producer. It's not work for free, Cosmic Bandito. It's a paid position. But the guy's got a family, and, it's probably not that kind of paid position. And I get it. He's great, though. He's fucking great. And I'll tell you something else. Don't fuck with him. He is in the cartel because he's in Mexico, Okay. Jaffe, can I replace Ricardo? No. Ricardo can never be replaced. He's phenomenal. It's just I may not be able to afford him right now until I know that I want to jump in. Let's get with the show, shall we? Jesus fucking Christ.
And extra, read all about it, life's going.
Shut the fuck up!
All right, let's begin. Welcome to Gabbin' Games, folks, for Wednesday, August something, 2nd, 1st. Who the fuck gives a shit? Let's talk about things. I want to tell you that after this show, maybe 10 minutes after this show, we will be doing the after party for members only. What's happening in the after party, we'll be watching a video. It's about an 8-minute video to get. Basically, you go over to the Discord. Everybody's on live chat, so it's like just a hangout, but I'm also streaming it only to members on YouTube if you want to watch it on the YouTube. And we're going to be talking today about the arcade show, like arcade, like Dave and Buster's will be looking at the remaining big games coming in 2023 for video game arcades. There's an interesting question I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you just arrive back in time and you can say 4 words to your younger self, what are they? I've been thinking about this all night. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and here's the walkthrough. We'll go through the Amusement Expo, and then we're either going to play this game or play around with it. I'm not going to finish it, but Pseudo Regalia, which is just getting insanely great talk. It's $6. It's basically like Castlevania 64 is what people are saying, but it's really fucking good. We're either going to play that, or I really finally want to pull the trigger and get 3 or 4 matches in for Call of Duty Season 5 or 6, whatever dropped today, with members, because I really need to get back to my esports coaching, and I need to kind of give him a baseline of where I'm at, and I've just been busy. So that's coming up with the after show. Okay. Also, if you're a member, you may know this already. If you remember, I put my top 10 things, plus a lot of extra ones that I loved about Twisted Metal this first season. That is up now for members only on the YouTube. And then tomorrow, I will be putting up the things that I either didn't like about Twisted Metal, the series, and or the things I didn't understand about Twisted Metal. So in terms of I didn't get why they made those choices, or I didn't understand what was happening in the plot. So this will be coming up tomorrow for members on the channel as well. Okay. Let us get into some news. Oh, I've also been playing Double Dragon Gaiden. You guys played Double Dragon Gaiden? God damn, that's a good game. That's a goddamn good game. I just want to talk about this briefly because I think it's really interesting. It's really fun. And it's also neat because it's not, yes, it does a rogue, it's a rogue like, not a rogue light. So when you die, it's all over. I'm hearing things. Oh, it's Alexa. But what's really neat about it is that you have 4 gangs or 4 or 5 gangs in the city. And the way you win the game is you kill all 4 bosses. But depending on the order you play, like every single gang and every single boss has probably like 6 stages, but you only get the full 6 stages on the last boss. So like whatever boss you choose first is like a stage and a half. It'll take you 3 minutes, and then it gets longer and you start seeing more and more. So you could beat on your first playthrough a boss that only is like a 3-minute level. But then if he ends up being your last playthrough, you're talking like 15 minutes. It's very cool. It's very clever. It's very addictive. It's really, really fucking fun. I highly, highly recommend it. I have not gone online with it. I don't know if there's an online, actually. I know there's couch co-op, but it's good stuff. Yeah, Awesome Tatum says there's a token system in this game, which he's right, and it gives you a reason to keep going. Right, so it's kind of like if you do well in the game, you earn tokens, and then you can use those tokens if you lose all your lives to like continue. But it's not just like, oh, put more money in because you've already owned the game. But it's cool that they tie the tokens into the gameplay, so at the end of a match, if you've lost all your people, you can get back in. But there's a lot of replay, a lot of characters to unlock. Highly, highly recommend it. Okay. You feel like I would like Crime Boss Rockay City. Isn't that the one that was like GTA that had all those 90s stars? Is that what was going on with that fucking thing? I heard it was terrible. It was fucking terrible, no? But yeah, I'll give it a look for sure. Why not? Okay. Let's move on. Let's get to some real fucking news. Microsoft has decided they want to let everybody know what they're wearing. Hey, come on now. For Gamescom. They're saying Starfield is not playable. So don't fucking, get all excited and all that shit. They're not going to let you play it there. Comes out in 30 days. We'll talk about that in a second. They are going to have their biggest Gamescom ever. Right? So I don't think Sony's even going to be there. They're going to have a really good, big presentation. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's going to be a big fucking presentation. You will be able to play the new Forza. You will be able to play there's another game they said you'll be able to play. What's their other game? Well, they're basically saying hands-on you're going to get Stalker 2, which is really surprising. I'm surprised that's still happening. Overkill and Starbreeze Studios Payday 3. That's actually out this weekend on beta. So, if you want to get into the beta, you can sign up on Steam and see if you like it. That'll be a day one Game Pass game. Armored Core. We'll get some hands-on from Armored Core. Party Animals, the new Cyberpunk is what it was I was thinking of. And then Persona 5 Tactica. So it should be a really good show. We'll be doing a bunch of streams of all the announcements and live streams and things like that from Gamescom. It's coming up August 23rd. And, I'm looking forward to it. I would say I'm a little bummed you can't play Starfield, but I get it. Starfield is probably not one of those games that is going to show well or play well on a show floor. Right? I've been to all the E3s up until the last couple ones, and I can tell you games that people absolutely fell in love with. Eventually, I was playing the demo. I think I played the opening to one of the Final Fantasies after 7, and I was just like, what? This is boring. But it's yeah, because, it's not the ideal show floor, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell you what, it was a fascinating, eye-opening experience for me. Sony, if you don't remember, when they used to have E3, they would have 2 levels, right? They'd have the games level, and then they'd have food and all kinds of shit upstairs, and you had to kind of be with Sony or be having a meeting to go up there and get food and sit. So I go up there once with Timmy Schafer. He's pitching me, what was that game? Psychonauts. And, long story. Pitching me Psychonauts. Obviously, I love the concept, blah, blah, blah. We didn't make it, blah, blah, blah. But we're looking over at the Sega booth, and the Sega booth was the second year Dreamcast had been there. And it was like Ooh La La and Toy Soldiers and Samba de Amigo, and just, it was the year of Dreamcast. You look over there, and it was the shit. It was the shit. And I was like, we're fucked, because it was the first year PS2 was on the show floor, and we were like, Sega's booth is amazing. It is so much fucking fun. But really what ended up happening was Sega's booth was amazing because it was built on their arcade legacy. So for a show where you walk up to one of these booths and play on their kiosk, yes, it was excellent. But that didn't translate into sales, and obviously we all know what happened to Dreamcast. So the point is, if you've got Starfield coming out for early access 7 days after the start of Gamescom, and it's not that I don't know if it's a slow burn, but I don't think it's a slow burn in the same way people say Red Dead Redemption 2 is a slow burn, but it's not gonna, you don't want people talking shit about it like, oh, it's boring. Just fucking control the goddamn message. The one thing I have to figure out is, do I want to drop $100? Right now I'm going to get it for free because I have Game Pass, but do I want to drop $100 to play it 5 days before? I think I'm going to because I really want to play it, and maybe I'll just play it with members so we can all play it together and shit, at least for those first couple of days. No, my mic, I apologize about the mic. Masochista says was going crazy thinking it was thundering. It's Jaffe's mic. My mic is great. The problem with my mic is it's so great, and I have a fan here because it's so fucking hot that the AC is blowing and the fan is blowing, and it's loud. So I apologize. Hopefully when it cools off, you won't have to put up with that shit anymore. What do you mean? What do you mean? Ethan Jory says the early access of Starfield's only $30. I think you're a goddamn liar. I think you're a goddamned liar. Because that's what? What do you mean the early access is only that much ducats? What are you talking about? I think that that's not what a cat penis looks like. That's true. So wait. You just pay, says Fanto, for the Starfield premium upgrade for 5 days access, not the full 100. So but Masochista says it's $100. Early access is full price, says Gaming Nating. So you're telling me if I have it on Game Pass, I only have to pay $30 for the early access? I'll figure it out. The point is, even if I have to pay $100, that's fine, because I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty fucking excited for it. Is $100 worth it for that? It is for me because I stream, right? So if I have it 5 days early and I can stream with the members, I think it's worth it. If I wasn't streaming, no, I wouldn't mind waiting. The only thing all the pre-orders now have done for me is once they introduced early access, like I paid $100 to have the last Lego 2K racing game. So just to have it early, right? So I'm down. I'm totally down. Hey, I want to let you know something. Salvador, he's been around the block. He's not as tight as we wish. Salvador, welcome, buddy, to the Diet Soda Soldiers, buddy. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate being part of our fucking community, man. Thank you so goddamn much. It's good to have you. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, I want to tell you, just me and you, a little secret here. I'd love to get like a sex worker who's a gamer. I would. And I also want to tell you something, Salvador. I have a little friend who wants to talk with you. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind if my friend stops by. Salvador, would you like to meet my friend? He's nice. He's kind of full of himself. He's nice a little bit. Can we play Starfield with you co-op, says Sharif. I don't think you can play that game co-op, can you? Starfield's not a multiplayer game, correct? Or am I totally out of my fucking mind? The point is, though, folks.
Bill Spencer! Bill Spencer! Bill Spencer! Let's go! Yeah!
Shit, there's no audio. There's no audio on Phil Spencer. God damn it. He came by, I booked him, and I forgot to turn on his mic. All right, whatever. The point is, though, welcome, Salvador. It's good to have you, buddy. We love you. We love you a long time. We'll get Uncle Phil mic'd and bring him back in the future. Fuck you, I'm not stalling. I'm talking. What is it you would like to know? Trey Trimble says I got to go play the organ at the ballpark. Good, no, great streak. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. I'm not stalling. I'm talking to you guys. I'm having a. Let me tell you something. I want to give you guys something. Now, it's not mine to give. There is a guy who follows me. This is some of the most beautiful Twisted Metal art. I'm not going to spend too much time on Twisted Metal today, but this is some of the most beautiful Twisted Metal art I have seen, and it is so. It reminds me of Lee Wilson's art, who worked on Halo, but was the key concept artist for Twisted Metal 1 and 2, did all of the art for the in movies. I don't know what this guy's name is. Because if you look, I'll put it up right now. Omega Black Art is how you can follow him on Twitter. I don't really know what to call him. But this is the image he did. He up-resed a higher quality version of it. I'll show it to you right here. This is all my wallpaper now. It is just fucking gorgeous, man. It so correctly captures the vibe of the series or the game series, especially the first couple and Head On. Like, I love just the nuance that Lee brought to it, where he gave these cars personality. This guy seems to really, really get, right? So, like, even if you look at just minor things like, here's Darkseid, and then Darkseid has this kind of snowplow rammer on the front, but Darkseid is a little off-kilter, off-centered from the rammer, so everything just has this kind of junky sort of feel. It's very cool. I highly recommend you going over there. I'll put a link up. Let me put the link up because it's beautiful. It's really nice and high res, and if you want it for your wallpaper, you just want to masturbate to it, whatever it is you need to do, move the image so we can see Darkseid better. All right, I will. Hang on. Here you go. Spaz is unhappy with my mise en scene, so let me just turn my fucking face off for a minute, Spaz. Why don't you just ask for what you really want? There you go. So there's Darkseid right here. See how he's kind of like angled here and the snowplows here? Isn't that cool? Adam says I would love a super cartoony Twisted Metal. Yeah, like a super violent but cartoony Twisted Metal. Oh, me too, man. Me too. I fucking love it. All right. But check him out. He's good people. Okay, one more thing I want to show you on Twisted Metal real quick. Then we're going to talk about Kojima's new thing, which I thought was really fascinating. I got to reach out to Sony. I don't reach out to these fellas all that often anymore. I don't feel comfortable asking them for favors or free things. I do want this, though. This costs you $60, comes out in October. It's the G Fuel Energy Formula Twisted Metal Ice Cream exclusive, whatever the fuck it is. I don't drink G Fuel, but I think it's a beautiful box with Sweet Tooth in the truck, and then you get like a little bottle there with the same art on it, and then I guess you get some fucking ice cream, sour strawberry, cotton candy. I just like that Sony's putting but Sony's putting some effort behind moving this thing. And I've had a lot of people ask me, comments are not being deleted, Kevin, I assure you. I don't have the time to delete comments. What I would tell you is, let me bring my face back up, because that's the moneymaker, baby. Come on. People have asked me a lot. They say, is this going to lead to a new game? Well, like I've said, I think there's a new game already being made, right? I heard that the people making the game actually may have visited the set, blah, 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 but I haven't heard anything since that. And in that, I don't fucking know, but I think so. But this is getting a lot of good love. I don't know how it's doing other than critically. And so wouldn't that be something if wouldn't that be Masochista says, I hope it's a Strand game. Yeah, sure. Wouldn't that be something though, if whether it's Twisted Metal free to play car combat or, more of a adventure open world game based off the show, I think that'd be really cool. But I don't know. I don't know how the show, once the kind of initial excitement wears off for people, is it going to really be something that they can kind of chalk up to anything more than a single versus a triple. That's baseball talk, folks. I'm a total alpha. I'm into sports as well as video games. Okay. If they wanted to make a game to time with the show, says Admiral, it would have to have been in development for years. Well, no, that's not true. They could have started a year ago with the script and said, okay, we know what this is going to be. Hell, you know what? For all I fucking know, not Sucker Punch, what are they called? The Bend, Oregon guys are making it. They're making an open world game. They got experience with this kind of stuff. Who knows? I really don't know, though. I have no idea. But if I were to bet, though, yeah, sure, I would agree it's a live service game, but multiplayer. Okay. I'll be happy with the Twist Metal Black remake. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what I saw that the top Twist Metal 1 and 2 were like in the top 10 of games, but again, all this stuff just came out, so we'll fucking see. I don't want to see Oppenheimer JD Creative at the cinema. It's a ridiculous concept that I think people like Martin Scorsese and Christopher Nolan can go fuck themselves, because it staggers me that people who are such brilliant filmmakers don't seem to genuinely understand that if I go to a movie and it's better because it's on a big screen, then there's something wrong with the fucking movie. A great story will wrap you up in its narrative and its characters and its metaphor and all the shit and take you away, whether you're watching it on an IMAX screen or a fucking Apple Watch, right? Come on. That's what a good story does. The fact that I have to go see it on a big screen, I don't want to be aware of the size. I don't want to be in. It's not peak experience. Solaris says theatrical view. I mean, maybe it is for you, and I appreciate that. But for me, the story is what matters, right? So, just because I see Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny on a massive screen, and I'm like, that where I'm looking everywhere takes away from the experience of losing myself in the narrative. For me, your mileage clearly varies. Don't you want the visual and auditory experience? No, I don't care. I don't care about those things. I care about the story. Am I excited? Am I engaged in the story or not? Even the sound in Star Wars, it just doesn't matter. I don't care. You guys go love it. Make love to the goddamn thing. I don't give a fuck. It means nothing to me. But I'm older than a lot of you guys, right? So I've had that experience. I've seen the best, and I've gone to ArcLight when there was only one ArcLight on Sunset Boulevard and all that, wherever it was in Hollywood. And it was like the perfect projection. And then the guys come out and they talk to you about the film and the vision, whatever. When the movie starts, the movie starts. All I care about. Okay. Let's talk about Kojima. People are asking, do I think Kojima's a hack? No, I don't think Kojima's a hack. I think Kojima's great. I'm a fan of the guy. Even Death Stranding, that I thought was slow and wasn't really for me, I still appreciated what he was doing with it. So, I'll tell you when I said in the thumbnail that this guy... let me get to Kojima. I got to read this from Phantom. I'm so sorry, you guys. When I listen to this show back, sometimes it's called, what do they call it when you do that? It's called air check. So you listen to it like an audience to go, what's good, what's bad. I know I interrupt myself 20 times a day. I really should get better. Should I stay on the Kojima story or respond to Phantom? I'll try to get back to Phantom. Let me put him up on the screen so I don't forget. Okay. So let's go back to Kojima. See how I'm getting better. I'm improving, fellas. Okay. Kojima. There's a rumor now that's coming out of Japan. Kojima has already told us. I guess he was on a radio show doing some radio show interviews. Okay. And he says in that interview, he said the project he's making with Xbox for the cloud is similar to an indie game in scope. He said the budget was not that high. He says it's edgy. It is surprising. You'll be like, what is this? This is one of the games, he said, where he wants to make it playable in something you've never played before. But he is doing exactly what I think the future of this industry will be. Okay. I understand a lot of you guys you don't think there's a streaming future. Sorry, you're wrong. I understand a lot of you guys love to own your games. That hopefully will continue for you. I appreciate that. But the games are going to get smaller and shorter, and they're going to be streaming 5-10 years from now. They just simply are. And the fact that Kojima is basically going, look, I don't want to... He wanted more money, of course, he said, but I'm not going to spend tons of money. I'm going to do something weird and interesting and hopefully commercial. I think this may be the horror game that he's talking about, that you guys must have seen the leaked footage of the girl kind of sneaking around the dark rooms and stuff. So hopefully he can pick up this banner and run with it and not make some arty-farty fucking thing that's so arty-farty and so what the fuck am I looking at that it really shits the bed on what could be a great flag plan to say this is kind of what we could be doing in the future, where we can take a lot more risk, we don't have to spend as much money, we can make commercial titles, and we don't have to break the bank. So we're going to get a lot more creativity returning to more of the console space versus where it is right now on things like Steam and whatnot. So I'm excited about this. But I guarantee you, in just a moment, when I look over to the chat, I'm going to see a bunch of people who say, oh, it's crap, I don't want it. And again, Kojima is exceptionally hit or miss, right? He doesn't always... He's not hit or... Here's what I'll say. Kojima bats 1,000 when it comes to making interesting stuff. Like, I don't think the man's ever made a game that's like, meh. You always have a response to it, which is more than most can say. And I think that's wonderful. But he doesn't always get himself dialed into what the audience is really looking for. Like, I think Death Stranding, I know Death Stranding did not deliver the numbers they wanted because I know people over there, and they've literally told me that. But I will tell you that as great as it was, hopefully this new game is actually a little bit more with an eye towards this is something a lot of people want to play and talk about. And I also saw this story. I saw that the load, and this is not good, but it's kind of good, that the spin-up times happening on xCloud gaming are getting longer and longer, right? Which is suggesting either one of two things. It's either suggesting that more and more people are playing. Some people think it has to do with Grand Theft Auto 5 being available now, but more and more people are playing, and that has obviously caught them unaware. Like, people are starting to go, hey, this is kind of cool, this kind of works. Or they've deprioritized it, like we've heard they might, and they don't have the resources anymore to kind of keep things moving at the clip they were. I don't know what it suggests. What I will tell you is, and it kind of leads in a little bit to Fanto's text that's up on screen, when I was chatting yesterday or Monday with Ginger Prime, who's the guy with the Phil Spencer clip. Oh, I'm gonna smoke coke. He and I have had the exact same experience with kids, which is this generation and a little younger and a little older, they don't really care about ownership. They don't care if it's a live service game. They want access. They want to be able to play it with their friends. They want it now. So the worm is turning. It's the way it goes. But the other thing I will say, as it relates to Fanto's question, he says, is anybody in the chat over 40? I never want to leave the house. I never want to leave the house either. And what I'll tell you is that Prime was telling me, and this isn't like a private thing. He made it was a big point of our conversation. He's like, look, I went to the doctor. I got tested. I have very low testosterone. So I'm on T-shots or patch. I don't know, pills. I don't know how he injects it or gets it into his body. He says it's made a big difference last 2 weeks, And I said, it would not surprise me if I went to the doctor and got a checkup and they said, dude, your testosterone is really low. Would you like some testosterone? And I was joking, but kind of not really, because I said, if I take testosterone, I'll probably feel compelled to go outside and do things. And I don't want to go outside and do things. I like being inside. Somebody asked in the chat if I'm an introvert. No, I'm not an introvert at all. I like people a lot. But I just, I have found the experience of a lot of things that are being offered out there I've done, right? And I don't mean that like I'm some kind of worldly motherfucker. I don't want to travel, so I don't care about that. I've been to the movies. I've been to the theme parks. I've had crazy relationships. I've done a lot of that shit. So when people say, hey, let's go out to this new club, not that they ever asked me to go to a club. Why? What's out there for me? Things are so much better here. Everything comes to me. I love it. Anyway, so there's my answer, Fanto sir. Scott Woodford says, I make myself go outside because I work from home. I get it. Fanto says, this is becoming an old man. I'm not going to read about arthritis. I'm sorry, I'm not reading about arthritis. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about colonoscopies. We are moving on with video game news. I cannot handle it.
We're just normal men. Just innocent men.
Okay. I'm not ignoring your plight. It sounds like you're dealing with some shit, but I cannot turn this into a goddamn come to the Jaffe stream and let's talk about what ails you. Matt Kinn says you're like the humans in Space Station at the end of the WALL-E movie. I know. So I don't care. Listen, Metroid Dread has sold over 3 million copies, says the developer. That's not the news. You guys know. A lot of you guys know how I feel about Metroid Dread. I'm a fan of the developer. I've actually spoken to the CEO, who I'm about to quote in a second. But it wasn't my, I was turned off very early in that game for my own reasons. And again, as I always say, your mileage will vary. For a lot of people, clearly it did. So there you go, right? So 3 million copies, though. Clearly a lot of people vibed with it. But here's the story, though. This is what I found interesting that I wanted to share with you, Tykes. They talk about the game having been created under chaos, right? There was a 2021 report that said an alleged chaotic development team and process was what making that game was. Here's what the CEO says. He says, I don't think the development was chaotic. Chaotic development doesn't end with one of the best games in the franchise. Well, that's not true. It doesn't end with a game that has sold over 3-point-something million. That's not true either. It doesn't end with a game that won TGA awards. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, I think what he's saying, and I should just reach out and ask him, I think what he's saying, which I do, this is not new coming from me, but it is, again, it's something to know. You don't make fucking diamonds without pressure. You don't make greatness unless you just trip over all the right cracks on the sidewalk and get incredibly lucky without some conflict. And I'll tell you, it leads into this other story over here. And I'm not going to tell you things that I'm not allowed to tell you, but I will tell you that I'm interested. It relates to Spider-Man 2 and how the press, at least in this article from DualShockers, which is the first I've seen, might be a canary in the coal mine for the way they may review this game. Right? So I know there are developers, and I'll just say this without spilling any beans. I wonder if I drop this Zot in my Diet Coke, what'll happen? I just did it. Nothing. I know there are developers that are finding a good, livable balance between going, look, template, let's get crazy where we can, but we're not going to kill the team. We're not going to balloon the budget. We're going to deliver really good quality, safe content. Okay? And that's probably a smart thing when you're spending the kind of money that is being spent on this shit. But again, I mean, the fact that you've got DualShockers, I'll read you some of the choice quotes, but although the choice quotes have kind of gone away, I highlighted them and they're vanished. Let's see if I refresh and come back. But the gist of the article, though, as you can imagine, is like, I've seen this before. I've seen it in the game. I've seen it in the movies. After seeing the Spider-Verse films, I expect more from Spider-Man now, is what this writer is saying. Now, you can agree or disagree. I don't fucking know. I've made peace with it being kind of more of the same, and it's sort of like comfort food. So I'm very much looking forward to the game. I don't think it's going to get hurt sales-wise at all if it is basically more of the same. But the guy's not wrong. He talks about like Kraven. He's like, okay, Kraven the Hunter is just this big dude with a Russian accent, right? I mean, he's got some abilities and stuff. And again, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good game. But I do think it's interesting. It's the first time I've seen the press really start to push back on these games that are big budget, that don't seem to be, at least everything we've seen so far, really trying to go out of their way. And again, maybe you don't do that. Maybe if you're Insomniac, you're like, look, you fucking idiot. We sold 27 million copies of the first one. Miles Morales is one of the best superhero games ever made. You want us to fucking start messing around with the DNA of the golden goose? You want another fucking golden egg, bitch. I get it. I don't know if I would, even if I had a brilliant idea, I don't know if I would have the balls to change it because it works. But I am glad to see at least the press. That's what reviewers should be doing. I'll tell you something else. I like this. I like this Vlad Mazan. God damn it, buddy. Get a name that works. Vlad Mazanko. Come on, man. I like him because I'm tired of seeing the press, whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Steam games, Nintendo, I don't give a fuck. It's not about that. But if you ever go to look at movie reviews and look at a lot of the big fucking hit movies, the reviewers aren't losing their shit over them. They're like, it's pretty good. It's a 7 out of 10. 68 Rotten Tomatoes, whatever. Right? That's what we need. We need some pushback. Instead of like, it's a Sony game, 10 out of 10, because it's got ray tracing. I love that. I fucking love that. I love we're seeing this. Hopefully it's start of a trend. But that said, I'm still looking forward to it. But as it relates to Metroid as well, Metroid, look, if they had chaos, I didn't like Metroid, but a lot of people loved it. The best-selling Metroid ever. Let me ask you as a consumer. Do you care? Right? What do you care? What do I care? They're making the games that you want to play. They're making classics. I don't give a fuck about their quality of life. That's between you and your God, right? I don't care. I personally care as a human. But I don't care as a... Tell it to your fucking therapist. But I didn't care for that game. Spasmo cares because he wants more 2D Metroids like Dread. Well, think about it. If it sold 3 million, 3 point something, which still isn't huge, maybe Nintendo's like, all right, let's do it again. Let's just fix the fucking onboarding because it's terrible. And they know it's terrible, and then Nintendo knows it's terrible. And Miyamoto even called me and said it was terrible, but he's not going to admit it publicly. So that's all I'll say about that. All right. But Spider-Man. I'm not knocking Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to it. Let me ask you this. Kojima's new game, Cab, we don't know. All we know about Kojima's new game is he was on a radio show. He said, look, it is going to be low budget. It is indie. You will never have played something like it. And it's going to be in the cloud, which means all of those things tick the boxes that I keep telling you motherfuckers need to be ticked. Doesn't cost too much. Don't have to worry about putting it in a box and selling it. Don't have to worry about people downloading it. Do I have to read the review? Just try it. Just click the button, you're playing it. There's the future, my friends. Just like movies, just like TV. I don't care what you say. You're wrong. You're wrong. Remember riding down an elevator with Cliff Bleszinski in 2012. We were in Las Vegas, and we were both talking about the future being digital. People around us, marketing people. No, it's people will always want to go into games. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry you don't have that. I wouldn't even say it's a great ability to have a vision. It's obvious. It's obvious. Can Kojima make an indie game? I feel like that's the real question. Fuck yeah, he can make an indie game. He made the goddamn... What do you think Death Stranding is? Death Stranding is the most expensive art house video game ever made. Death Stranding is what Genova Chin makes if you give him like $200 million, right? That's what Death Stranding was. And I enjoyed it. You can call it a AAA game, Kyle. Financially, you're right. But fundamentally, that game did not go through the meat grinder of marketing and sales and executives going, that's what I mean when I say AAA. If I walked in, or Cory Barlog these days, or me back in the day, or Neil Druckmann, maybe Neil could get away with it, walked in and said, I'm going to make Death Stranding. I don't think so. I don't think so. If you're a true visionary artist, it doesn't matter how big or small the tools you're working with, you'll make something cool. I agree, Kevin, 100%. 100%. Sony, I don't think Sony's stupid, XO, for funding Kojima's game. They wanted to stay in bed with the guy. And no one knew, really, until he rolled those particular dice, what it meant to work with him. He had been on Metal Gear forever. And, you know, I would have rolled those dice as well. And I think it made its money back. I just don't think it, I know it wasn't, it under-delivered. Jinzo86 says, stupid question, Dave. Digital games are the future, right? I think we're already there in terms of it's the majority of sales, but yes, absolutely. SadCon, fuck you, bitch. I'm going to move on, but let me just address this because I'm tired of hearing this bullshit. Death Stranding is a different AAA game than the norm. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you whether or not it's indie or not. It's an indie game based on how I defined it. I played it more than an hour. I played about 6 hours, and then I complain all the Sony games are the same. No, I don't. Fuck you, no, I don't. I played and I loved Returnal. I played and I respected Death Stranding. I played MLB The Show, which I'm not very good at, but this is the best one I've ever played, the one that just came out. Don't fucking tell me I say they're all the same. The ones that are most popular are very similar. 100%. You goddamn cockadoodie right. That's a different thing. It's called nuance. People don't believe in talking black and white. Listen to this. Have you guys who have an Xbox? I have one, and I've been waiting to see it. I know people should play Returnal, but Returnal shat the bed, and they deserve to have shat the bed, and they could fix it. Sony is so stupid. Isn't that terrible to say? They're not stupid. But the point is, they're so stupid. If I am Jim Ryan or Scott Rohde or whoever, Connie Booth, I don't fucking know. One of those fellas in Filetti's, here's what I would do with that game. That's a brilliant game. Death Stranding's a brilliant fucking game. Not Death Stranding, sorry. I mean, that's brilliant too, but Returnal. All they need to do is pack it in, remarket it, whatever, and just tune it, make it a little, not even easier, at a moment-to-moment level. Just give me a save at the end of each fucking boss. I get it. It's not Division. I get it. Okay, but you know what? Saturday Night Fever, when I was a kid, was a massive hit. And it was rated R. And then Paramount says, hey, John Badham, the director, could you do us a PG-13 or PG cut? And it made so much fucking money, and so many people fell in love with John Travolta in that movie because there was the ability to actually see the whole fucking thing. So I'm not saying don't keep Returnal as is, as a, you know, it's always on the disc like Returnal Classic or whatever. Sure, respect your heritage, I'll respect your elders, whatever, but don't be an idiot. This game is brilliant. It's beautiful. It controls deliciously. It's one of the best controlling games this generation. And they were too precious with their vision of the difficulty, and it fucked them. It fucked them. Anyway, listen to this. You guys have an Xbox? I have an Xbox, and people are complaining about the new update, but I can't get the new update. I've been trying to fucking Returnal added save spots, did they not? Yeah, but not in the right way. Like they added like you can do a cheat, and I think you can play it with a friend, but it's not literally like you finish the boss at the end of World 2 and you can save. They did make it more approachable, but not what they needed to do. But Returnal's fucking phenomenal. So Water Princess is saying she loves the new AI. Okay, Cade says unplug the Xbox for 30 seconds, clear the cache, it forces the update. Okay, let's do it real time. I'll move on to the next story. Let me unplug my Xbox. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to unplug it, and then after the next story, we will come back to it. And I want to see, because basically the story is everybody's complaining about it. They say it's hideous. They say it's ugly, and it's one big ad. I'm looking at an ad on Gaming Bible. This is from Catherine Lewis. You ever see a writer and you click on them? I'm going to say, look. I'm going to say something that's going to creep you out. I don't care. But first, this is from Catherine Lewis at Gaming Bible. Here's what I'm looking. Here's what I was going to say. I just do it. I don't care. You ever see a writer and you're like, well, she looks kind of pretty. I want to click on her. Isn't that terrible to do? But you do it. She looks cute. I don't know if she looks cute for me when I get close up, but right, I like redheads, but I can't get any closer. That's as much as I do. And she's like, dude, I'm 24. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying she looked cute. When I was, remember that Cliffy B story I told you? When I was coming down the escalator, that thing, we were at a GameStop, Dog and Pony. And this is so, oh my God. So I was going out pitching Twisted Metal 2012, and I go out there, and I had like 8 shows a day for 3 days of talking about all this shit. And they're like, okay, well, go out. You're either the first guy or the last guy. So kind of, I always like opening with a joke or just something, whatever. So the first thing I says to the audience, I started talking about a woman who worked at GameStop, one of my local GameStops. I went to like 3 of them, that I had a crush on. And I thought that would be funny, right? And I think it came off as really creepy. So the audience was just dead silent. And then the next time I went up, I made a joke about Battletoads, and it killed. So I never changed the Battletoads joke in all 3 days. But I'm telling you that first joke did not work. Let's turn on the Xbox. I'll be right back. Let me, I'm going to flip the switch here. 1 second. Okay, now, the cache should be cleared. Fuck you, XO. I hate XO. Do we have any mods? I don't want to ban him. I don't want to ban him. Just sometimes people get on my fucking nerves, and today he's on my fucking nerves. That's the truth. He's on my goddamn fucking nerves today. Is that okay? I don't know. All right, let's turn on the Xbox and see what we got. Jaffe just stepped up to the mic and thought about this girl while breathing heavily for 2 minutes, and he wondered why he got no laughs. I'm not looking for laughs. I'm just telling you a story, idiot. Fonzie. What about Epstein? What do you mean Epstein? Of course Epstein was real. And they're saying now, the FBI last night, I don't know if you saw this, the FBI last night is like, hey, perhaps we should keep the judge from releasing this new file from that Giselle or whatever woman. I mean, we aren't even close to having that goddamn real fucking story. And I think it's about fucking time we ended up figuring this shit out. I'm kind of getting tired of it. How many people got hurt with this fucker? And how many of these fucking idiots? Man? All these powerful people. I don't care what political party you vibe with. All of them. Clinton, Trump. Hang on, that's loud. Just, what's the matter with these people? Fucking idiots. No, this is the same one I've always had, man. So, is this new? I mean, I don't see... Anyway, we're talking about the new Game Pass update that a lot of people are complaining about. This just looks like normal. Is this a new thing? Or not? Xbox, it's not the new one yet. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. I can't really relate to what people are saying, but apparently people say it's like one big ad. It's not very good. It's kind of annoying. So hello, Ricardo. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, this is the old one, so don't ask me why that I'm still getting the old one, but I suppose I am. So I'll have to, my jury will have to stay out. I was playing Perfect Dark Zero today. I wanted to try it in the cloud. And I enjoyed it. I played the first one on the N64, but I never really played that one. Yes, I updated. I did all that shit. Okay. Yeah, let me know. Tristan Mike says he's updating his right now. Maybe you can look for updates. I'll do it later. I'm not going to do it right now. Okay. Look at this motherfucker. I complain about this guy. You know, this guy probably complains about his nose. This is Strass Zelnick. He's the CEO of, what's that place called? 2K. Right? And I don't like him. That's not true. I've met him once, but he's a nice guy. All the guys at 2K are really nice. But all the guys at 2K, here's the feeling whenever I met people at 2K or EA. Okay? They were mostly men, and it reminded me of, look, you know what I look like. I used to be in better shape, but I've always been this average looking guy at best on my good days. It is what it is. I don't beat myself up. I'm not like, oh, I'm ugly. I don't think that at all. But I'm not one of these beautiful people. So I'm going around freshman year of college, and I'm like, well, my friends wanted to join, what are they? The Rush? So, not sororities, obviously. Sororities, yeah. What do they call it? The fraternities on Fraternity Row. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you. But, no one's going to, unless it's like the arty farty or the weirdo kids fraternity, nobody's asking me into their fucking fraternity. I'm not cool enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not, whatever. I'm not that dude. Right? And I'm not knocking myself. Please don't come at me in the chat like, you're so awesome. We love you. I know. I have a wonderful ego. I'm very happy with how I look. I'm just saying that, I'm not an idiot. I also know that if somebody were to give somebody a model contract and it was between me and him, unless I was, they wanted the guy in the Twisted Metal TV series who greased himself up with the gas mask as a condom, Zelnick would probably get the job. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'd fit in. Tristan says I'd fit in at the frat in old school. You're my boy Blue. You goddamn right. Okay, so anyway, listen though. Well, here's my point. So the 2K guys and the EA guys always remind me of they always remind me of those frat guys in like the alpha houses that me and my friends, you tour. That's how it works, right? You I'm thinking of You're My Boy Blue. you go to all the houses and they meet you and stuff, and they're so nice to you and they're nice to your face. And I'm not saying they were dicks behind my back, but it was so clear you weren't getting into their club and you weren't one of the cool people. That's all I'm saying. So the EA people and the 2K people remind me of that all the time. Okay. The bigger point, though, is so here's Zelnick, who, what I was saying is I bet Zelnick's like, you know how people are. No matter how good looking you are, you're insecure. That's what our world does to us tragically. He probably is just like, my nose, my little finger on my nose. Jesus, Jaffe, is this a gaming show? Shut up. Shut up. I'm not high. No, I'm not high. I'm high on life, man. Yeah, baby. I put a Zot in here hoping something would happen. But anyway, here's the point. Yeah, Cyclone says it shows that looks do help with positions. Sure. It's pretty privilege. It's a real thing. But at the same time, so is talent privilege. So is Kojima. You like it? Ring. So is charisma privilege, right? Trust me. I rolled 18s on a number of things. I got no complaints. So anyway, so this guy's living the good life. He's one of the beautiful people. You know how much money him and his partner split? 72. Is that right? Their bonus package is coming in at 72 million. Last year they got 31 million that they split. This year it's at 72 million fucking dollars. I just want you to think about it. Now, some people say, well, this is bullshit because they laid off all these people, and they did. And they did. But you know what? The more you really think about it, his job is to make the stockholders happy, right? And they reward him for doing so. If he fires a lot of people, that probably makes them a lot more money. So there really isn't this there is a correlation, but it's not the, well, why is he getting rich but you're firing people? Because he's firing people. That's why he's getting rich. I don't think he does nothing. I think CEOs are important. Really good CEOs are worth a lot. But, end of the day, though, it still, something seems wrong when you can make $72 million in bonuses, and there are people who can't fucking afford to pay for food for their kids. Water Princess says, shouldn't the devs make the stockholders happier? No, the stockholders don't give a fuck. They could be investing in metal pipes, video games, shoes, the little plastic tops that companies sell to McDonald's and fast food restaurants to put on top of their coffee. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. All they care about is what's going to make them money. That's how it works. And it sucks, though. It absolutely sucks. I don't get political. But the point is, the guy's got $72 million. He's splitting with his buddy. And if you want to sit around and complain about why he's so rich, a lot of this is microtransactions, man. A lot of this is microtransactions. It's the stuff a lot of you guys say you hate. I get it. Their goals that allow them to make these bonuses were tied to recurrent consumer spending, which involves player purchases of add-on content, in-game items, and virtual currency. The company's definition shared in an SEC filing yesterday includes all of that and the sale of NFTs, which I'm assuming did not contribute that much, if any. Their top titles, NBA 2K and GTA Online, are loaded with microtransactions, and some users say they make them feel nickel and dime. Tough, too bad. Guess what? You keep playing it. That's how it works. That's how it works. Eric says, if I made $72 million, well, again, he's got to split it, then there's taxes, but still. All right, so he basically is making $36 million for this year. This man ain't paying half in taxes, but let's just be conservative and assuming he is. So 36, you're looking at $18 million he gets to go home with. Think about that. 18 mil, but that's not why they do it at this point. At this point, he doesn't need any more money. He doesn't need any more money. It's about the power, man. It's about the competition. He doesn't care. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's a nice guy when I met him. I'm just saying, God damn, something's broken. Listen to this. Remember Anita Sarkeesian? I want to talk about this. This pinged my radar last night. So Anita Sarkeesian she's not dead or anything, but yesterday she says that Feminist Frequency, which is this website, nonprofit, that I'll tell you the reason I don't like Anita Sarkeesian, okay? It's not the reason a lot of other people don't like Anita Sarkeesian. For the most part. I don't know. I don't know why you don't like her. I know a lot of people don't like her. Because they're like, oh, she's, one of these woke people, blah, 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 blah. I'll get some of these super chats and comments in just a second. No, fuck it. Well, no, I'm going to stay on the topic. I'm trying to get better. Let me put this up so I don't forget it, though. And then I know there was an earlier one that I'll do, get yours up there as well. So anyway, she has, it's basically tropes about women in video games and then tropes about women in media. And I think her heart has always been in the right place. I am a male feminist, whatever don't get into those third generation feminist. Fuck you. I'm Gloria Steinem feminist, right? I believe men and women are different, but they're equal. They should be given the same opportunities, blah, 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 blah. I think blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, there is a weird sound, Ricardo. It's the fan. I told him at the beginning of the show. I just can't do anything about it. Because it's too hot. It's too hot. Yeah, Water Princess says she told the truth about the gaming community. People don't like the truth. So, yeah, I mean, there is that, right? So I agree with a lot of what she said. I agree with a lot of what Sarkeesian said about... I didn't watch all of her videos, but I watched a handful of them, and I watched her interviews and all this stuff. But I was painted by people who followed her, and I believe on one of her videos, literally, specifically when it came to God of War, as one of these misogynist people. And I took real issue with that. And maybe when you are kind of picking up the banner for something that is, at the time, relatively new to be picking up the banner for, or the banner is new, you know what I'm saying, I got the metaphor fucked, but anyway. Maybe there's not as much time for subtlety and nuance, but the idea of you either have to fall in line with my exact definition of this shit, or you're one of the problem people, that really bothered me, because my stuff has never been misogynistic. My stuff has never been, it has been sometimes maybe, I don't even think my stuff's been sexist, but it's been vulgar. But those are not the same things. And that bothered me. And then that got me thinking, I tweeted this last night, because she ran with that kind of crowd around 2010. And this is when I started to lose some interest in the industry, right? Here's what I tweeted last night. I said, this tweet is super petty but true. Starting around 2010, there was a whole host of indie game makers and the press covering them who had the spotlight. A few I adored, like Genova Chen from that game company, great guy, talented guy, wonderful human being. I said, but I found many of them to be obnoxious as fuck, and I'm glad I don't hear about them anymore. Reminded me of Jack Nicholson in Batman 89. He's like, I'm glad he's dead. So many of them were just fucking joyless and so full of themselves, and I hated sharing the biz with them. They have and had every right to be in the biz, and I would defend that right forever, and some made great games, but fuck, they were some serious fart sniffers. And it's true. It's absolutely true. I don't know if you remember this time where you had these games that were coming out and they were just so, these people were so fucking full of themselves, and they were so just up in their own shit, and they would fucking judge everybody, and they were just dicks. And I just found being in that business with them, when I engaged with them, either the press or them, just annoying. And I'm glad that's kind of washed out. I'm glad you guys know. Like somebody in the chat has taken the shit out of Gone Home. I thought Gone Home was brilliant. One of my favorite games. Brilliant game. And I've never met any of the people who made it, so I can't comment on those guys. Or girls. There's like 4 people or 6 people or something. All lived in a house together or whatever. But I love indie games. I love weird games. I love games that push the art form. I think games are art. But just because you're making art or just because you're appreciating art doesn't mean you got to be a joyless fart sniffing fuck. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And so Sarkeesian getting out of the game, I think she did some good. Because ultimately, look, man, there are a lot of jerks in games, in game making and in game playing. There's a lot of misogynistic, sexist assholes. And games are not just for dudes. They never were, and they certainly aren't now. And so good for her for coming up and saying, knock the fuck off, you fucking idiots. I love that about her. But I don't love that she was so non-nuanced in her criticism, at least when it came to me, that I was just like, okay, I don't have a lot of respect for you now. But I'm glad she's gone. There's what I'll say. But, whatever. Indie games should speak for themselves, says Ambient. I agree. During that time, some of those developers felt like rock stars. I mean, I get it. And look, I slathered myself all over the press when I was, flavor of the month, flavor of the year. I did it. It was fun. I got off on it. But, I don't think I was going around, being maybe I was obnoxious. I don't fucking know. I don't think I was that obnoxious, but maybe I was. Anyway, let me get these super chats, fellas. Thank you very, very much, Daxter, good sir Daxter, who I know I owe you a response. Wait, Daxter has become a member. He's already been a member. Daxter, aren't you already a member? Well, if you're not, thank you, but I think you're already a member. It doesn't matter. The point is, thank you for your support. I'm sending you I'll give you my address tonight. It's on my Alexa to-do list. Here's what Daxter says. GTA Online sells in game currency that you can get in 30 to 60 minutes of playtime, but they sell it for $20, which is ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, though, Dexter. It's not ridiculous because it works, because Strauss Zelnick is taking home $72 million. Totally makes sense to me. Yorch has been a member for 22 months. Yorch, I don't know if you heard this. I know I missed one of your super chats or one of your monthly chats a while back, and I got it on the next episode, but I don't know if you heard it. I apologize about that. I didn't realize till right when I went offline. But here's what Yorch says. He says, keep it up. So DS lost money. I didn't say it lost money. I said I know people at Kojima Productions that said that it didn't do what they hoped or expected it would do. They didn't. I don't know if it lost money or not. I believe it was profitable. I mean, they're making a sequel, right? So I don't think they'd be making Death Stranding 2. There you go. If it had not made enough money. How much did it cost? I have no idea how much it cost. Like I said, I agree with you. If it had lost its money, they wouldn't be coming back for a sequel. But my understanding is it was disappointing based on what they wanted to sell. Aegon says, Jaffe, where can one contact you to send his resume and credentials? I'm a full-time data analyst for the Montreal General Hospital and work from home with lots of free time. I guess it depends on what you want to do, sir. What do you what do you want? I don't know. Why are you sending me your credentials, sir? When am I planning to play Modern Warfare 2? Well, probably right after this stream. We're doing an after party in 10 minutes after the stream. We're going to talk amongst ourselves, and then we probably will load up the truck and get rolling. Okay. And we're going to talk about some stuff, and then we're either going to play this game, the Steam thing. What's the goddamn thing called? Pseudo Regalia, which everyone's talking about, or we're going to dive into some multiplayer so I can prep myself for the esports stuff. So I'm saving that for the next show. Yeah. Let me show you two stupid things real quick. I loved this game. It wasn't my favorite game. It wasn't my favorite game, but I enjoyed it. I was an arcade kid. I was an arcade rat. I understand. This doesn't make any sense. Let me show you this. Capcom makes a deal. Who's this for? Avi8 and Capcom have teamed up to sell you a $400 watch inspired by the old shoot 'em up 1942. What the fuck are you people doing over there? I mean, Capcom can do no wrong these days. So maybe this is smart. But what the fuck are you talking about? It was it was like Raiden. It was like a top-down airplane game. I love 1942 too, Daxter. But you want to spend $400 on a watch? It's not even like the watch plays 1942. The watch, literally, I'll zoom in. The watch has the numbers that kind of reflect the font. And then way in the background there, you can kind of see an airplane shooting at some other airplanes. What? The fuck are you talking about, Capcom? But somebody at Capcom ran the numbers, and maybe it was an AVI ran the numbers and said, this is worth it. Wait, maybe there's more. Hang on. This is different. No, it's not. Let's see. No, it's the same. It's just the fuck. That's just the second hand. No, that's bullshit. I mean, really? That's cool that it glows. That's cool that it glows. Who's this for? What kind of watch would you need? Hang on, let me see who's calling. No hologram that beams out where you can play it. No, I know it's bullshit. $400. I mean, I wonder what would if I don't even wear watches. I don't even know why people have Apple Watches. You have a phone, right? Fuck you, Addy Pie, you idiot. He's just talking about game news. This is game news, idiot. So mean, Daddy. Well, he's a dick. He can be a dick. But if I was going to buy a watch, I would be maybe picking up a watch that was, I don't know about that, but let me tell you something, though. I don't think Tommy would mind. I went to Tommy Tallarico's house, which is a staggeringly gorgeous house, just filled with treasures, literal treasures. Like, the guy has, like, original art from Pirates of the Caribbean in his home. He's got every issue of Spider-Man ever published in a Spider-Man room. He's got insane retro video games that, like, you're like, oh my god, blink and you missed it. He also has a room just for his watches, and I don't really give a shit about watches, but he was showing them to me, and I'm like, well, how much is that watch? He goes, this is $100,000 watch. $100,000 watch? $100,000 watch? He's like, he had like 12 of them. They were spinning around on little bases and shit. Insane. But, you know, he's a smart guy. Good with his money. I have an Apple Watch, says Ghetto God, and a $500 Seiko. I love my Apple Watch. It's convenient. Whatever, loser. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have one, Ghetto God, so I don't know. Okay. Yeah, Addy Pie says Jaffe's like an abusive dad who loves you, so he's basically my dad. I am not abusive. I just call you on your bullshit. That doesn't mean I'm abusive, you idiot. All right, listen, fellas. Here's what's going on. A reminder is what's going on. I want to tell you something. Don't get all, whatever. Don't get all... What did Han Solo say? Don't get all something with me, princess. Remember that? It doesn't matter. Look at this. After party's coming up in about 10 minutes once we lock this thing down. We'll be talking. I got to show you guys. We're going to look at some arcade games that will be coming out this year. I got to show you some amazing footage. I'm going to save it. And then we'll probably, depending on what the audience wants to do, we'll probably do some Call of Duty, or we'll probably do that other game, Pseudo Regalia. This, if you are a member, going over to the Diet Soda Theater on the Discord, the link is down below. and put yourself in the room when we start. If you don't want to do that, but just want to watch the show, if you remember, not a problem. I'll be streaming it right here on the YouTube channel. And so that's what's happening. Coming up. I also want to let you know, here's some of the stuff we'll be going through. Oh, right. If you remember, Gabbin' and Games, brand new video up yesterday. The top 10 things I loved about Season 1 of Twisted Metal. Going up tomorrow will be a new Old Man Jaffe video, as well as Gabbin' and Games, the top things I either didn't like or was confused by as it relates to Twisted Metal Season 1. So that's what's happening at the moment. I'll go to the chat for a couple minutes and we're going to wrap it up and sail off into the sunset. Hey, Jaffe, what do you think about the new studio, That's No Moon? That's No Moon was founded by the guy who's currently working now with John Garvin, who I want to have back on the show. Mike, Jesus Christ, how do I know? Michael Mumbauer. I was thinking of Mike Badger, who's a different guy. Michael Mumbauer. But he went to do that with Garvin, and then Nick Kononellos, who was with me as a partner on Bartlett Jones, is running it, along with Tina Kalawaski, I think. I think she's still there, who I worked with for many years at Sony. So I think they've got some of the guys from Call of Duty directors, so I'm excited. I know they had some funding, some really good funding. And I haven't seen anything yet, but that doesn't mean really anything. I think they're doing it through Smilegate, and I'm looking forward to it. George, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, a lot of people, not you, Jaffe, have a misconception of Metal Gear Solid sales and thought DS would be selling 50 million copies. I don't think any Metal Gear sold more than 10, so expecting that from DS seems naive. You're right. I mean, Metal Gear is my second favorite franchise, right behind Resident Evil. I adore it, and it has a lot more talk and play than you would think, given its sales. It's not like it's a low seller, but you're right. Most of those games top out around 5 to 6 million copies, and so I don't think anyone necessarily thought Death Stranding, I mean, maybe they thought it would do 50. I guess, I don't know what I thought, because when they played that video, I think it was Andy House announcing the deal. When they played that, it was clear they were going to give Kojima a lot of room to run. And I didn't know what that meant, because when he's been given room to run before that's not tied directly to Metal Gear, right? Sometimes he does some cool stuff, like what was the game that you had to play in the sunshine on the GBA? That was pretty fucking cool. Snatcher, was it Snatcher? The police Snatcher Knots? I don't fucking know. That fucking Sega CD game was cool. And then he did the robot game, the I forget what they called it. So I you know, and then other times it's like, what? So I don't know. I don't know what the core expectation was, but I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. And I very much appreciate that super chat. Ace! What the fuck? Come here. What's happening in your life that creates such nonsense? Relax. It's just life. It's just life. I don't know.
What is normal, man?
Okay. I hope the after show party is members only. It is going to be members only, yes. And if you don't know the enders, there you go. Police Knots, right. But yeah, there you go. So that's the show. I will be back Friday with another Gabbin' and Games, shooting for around 12:30. I like doing it earlier. I have more energy. Tomorrow we'll get some new videos up, some members-only videos up. We'll be doing an after party in about 10 minutes. Go to the Discord. That's happening 10 minutes from now. I'm seeing Barbie tonight with the family. Do people want a Barbie review out of me, or nobody gives a fuck what I think of Barbie? Let me know. But in the meantime, there you go. That's been Gabbin' and Games for August 2nd. New members, welcome. Super chats, thank you. Old-time members and new looky-loos, thank you guys for hanging out and spending some time with me, man. I really appreciate it. And people say don't review it. It's garbage. Barbie needs a Jaffe review. Okay, maybe. I'll see what I think. Thank you, Jay Styles. Be well, everybody. Take care. Be safe. And why is my Game Pass PC trying to launch? I'll see you guys soon. Bye, all. There we go. Come on now. Botos, if you're still there, what's your question? I'll answer it if it's quick. What do you got, buddy? Anita was actually in the industry. After she did a bunch of her videos, I think she did some consulting on a game, like some South American 1973 thing or something. I don't know. Hey, Gavin Russell. Gavin Russell, how can I reach you so I can set up an interview with you, man? The music of the outro is our very own alixplox, Spotify, Quake Zone Rumble, Los Angeles cover from Twisted Metal 2. I'm waiting for this guy, Botos, but maybe he's not showing up. All right, fellas, I'll see you later. Botos, hit me back on the next show. Bye, everybody. Be well. Be safe.